Chronic insomnia affects 1 in 3 Americans. It doubles your risk of depression, triples your risk of cardiovascular disease, and is independently associated with a 30% higher all-cause mortality rate. Yet most people with insomnia are either given a sleep medication that doesn't address the underlying problem or told to practice vague sleep hygiene that makes little difference. Research has identified a better approach, one that outperforms sleep medications in clinical trials. That approach is cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, CBTI. A 2009 meta-analysis in JAMA Internal Medicine compared CBTI directly to sleep medications including benzodiazepines and Z drugs. CBTI produced superior long-term outcomes in every measured dimension: sleep onset, total sleep time, nighttime waking, and sleep quality scores. Unlike medications, its benefits persist and improve after treatment ends. In this video, we are going to see exactly how it works and how to apply it. The sleep science research base is substantial. A landmark JAMA Internal Medicine meta-analysis established CBTI's superiority over pharmacological treatment. Matthew Walker's work in Sleep Medicine Reviews mapped what sleep deprivation does to the brain and body. And the Irish Review examined which sleep hygiene practices have actual empirical support versus which are just cultural assumptions. These papers form the evidence base for modern insomnia treatment. The most dangerous myth about insomnia is that it's primarily a brain chemistry problem that requires medication. Research shows chronic insomnia is primarily maintained by behaviors and cognitive patterns, not a permanent neurological deficit. The behaviors people adopt in response to insomnia, spending more time in bed, napping to compensate, checking the clock, worrying about sleep, are precisely what perpetuate it. CBTI targets these maintaining factors directly and sustainably. Sleep medications create a specific problem that makes long-term insomnia worse. Benzodiazepines and Z drugs reduce sleep latency and improve subjective sleep quality in the short term, but they suppress slow-wave sleep and REM sleep, the most restorative phases. This means people feel they slept but don't get the biological benefits of sleep. Long-term use also creates dependence, and stopping them typically triggers rebound insomnia worse than the original condition. Most people with insomnia have developed a conditioned arousal response. The brain has learned to associate the bedroom with wakefulness and anxiety rather than sleep. This is the physiological opposite of what you need. You walk into your bedroom and your nervous system activates, not relaxes. Every behavior that reinforces this association, lying awake in bed, using screens in bed, worrying about sleep in bed, makes the conditioning stronger and the insomnia more persistent. The JAMA Internal Medicine meta-analysis reviewed 5 randomized controlled trials comparing CBTI to pharmacological treatment for chronic insomnia. CBTI produced larger improvements in sleep onset latency, wake time after sleep onset, and sleep efficiency at both short and long-term follow-up. Crucially, at 6-month and 12-month follow-up, medication effects had diminished while CBTI effects had continued to improve. This long-term divergence is why CBTI is now the first-line recommended treatment. Sleep restriction therapy, the most counterintuitive component of CBTI, is paradoxically one of its most effective elements. By temporarily limiting time in bed to match actual sleep time, sleep drive increases and the sleep that occurs becomes more consolidated and deeper. Studies show sleep efficiency improves from typical insomnia levels of 60 to 70% to over 85% within 2 to 3 weeks of sleep restriction protocol. It feels worse initially before it gets dramatically better. Beyond CBTI, specific sleep hygiene practices have empirical support, but the research shows most people implement the low-impact ones and skip the high-impact ones. Light exposure management, sleep timing consistency, and temperature are among the best evidenced. Screen avoidance, herbal teas, and pillows have minimal evidence. The impact hierarchy matters when you're deciding what to prioritize. Research shows this pattern is more consistent across populations than previously understood. The body's sleep architecture requires specific environmental and behavioral conditions to express properly. Temperature, light, and timing are the 3 most potent environmental regulators. Each acts on a distinct aspect of circadian biology and sleep physiology. Research shows this pattern is more consistent across populations than previously understood. Studies find these effects are measurable and reproducible across independent research groups. The CBTI framework has 5 core components. Sleep restriction limits time in bed to current sleep time, building sleep drive. Stimulus control breaks the bed arousal association by keeping bed only for sleep. Cognitive restructuring addresses anxiety-producing beliefs about sleep. Sleep hygiene optimization addresses the environment and behaviors. And relaxation techniques help modulate the arousal that perpetuates insomnia. Each component addresses a different maintaining mechanism. The CBTI treatment timeline is well established. Week 1 is typically the hardest. Sleep restriction feels worse before it gets better. By week 2 to 3, sleep becomes more consolidated and deeper. Most patients see significant improvement by week 4 to 6. And unlike medications, the benefits compound and continue improving for months after the protocol is complete, because the maintaining factors have been permanently addressed. Here is the immediate starting protocol based on CBTI principles. Set a consistent wake time, same every day including weekends, and don't deviate regardless of how much you slept. Keep your bedroom at 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Get 10 to 30 minutes of bright light within the first hour of waking. Stop using your bed for anything other than sleep. The insomnia protocol needs to be tailored to the type of insomnia. If your primary problem is sleep onset, taking too long to fall asleep, stimulus control and relaxation techniques are your priority. If your problem is middle of the night waking, sleep restriction and temperature management are most relevant. If you wake too early and can't return to sleep, your circadian timing may need adjustment through light exposure management. Insomnia is not a permanent neurological problem. It's a set of maintaining behaviors and cognitive patterns that science knows how to reverse. CBTI outperforms every sleep medication in long-term outcomes, and unlike medications, its benefits continue growing after you stop the protocol. The core practices are not complicated. Consistent timing, a cool dark room, breaking the bed arousal association, and addressing sleep anxiety directly. The research has made the case for a better approach. Sleep is the foundation everything else rests on: cognition, metabolism, hormones, immune function, and emotional regulation all depend on it. The research has given us a tool that's more effective than anything in a pharmacy bottle and with no side effects. The protocol isn't easy at first, but it works, and it lasts. Research shows this pattern is more consistent across populations than previously understood.